Hello, it's Jenny Kovacs again, and there's a really dangerous habit forming amongst business owners. So this is day 15 maybe. Let me just check. You'd think I would have checked that on my list. Yes, day 15 of 30 days. Just reflecting, celebrating, talking about my own journey since 2010 when I started this business to today, which is at the time of recording 2016. So what's this dangerous habit that's forming amongst business owners? Well, especially for those of us that describe ourselves as entrepreneurial, maybe we describe ourselves as people helping, personal development, heart-centered. These are all phrases that I've heard. Business owners who are location independent, what does that mean? These are business owners who tend to not have a bricks and mortar business. They tend to be able to work from home or someone else's home or anywhere where they have an internet connection. And the perception is usually gleaned from how they show up on social media. Now, for those of you that might come from a more corporate, more formal, more professional background, you might sit and think, why is this woman making videos, like not even in a studio, with a vest top on, with her shoulders bare and her hair's not like pristine? Well, in the world that I transitioned from, so I worked in the financial services sector, I was a training manager and a national training manager at one company. I worked in the mortgage industry and I loved every moment of it. And then I transitioned to work in the insurance industry. So still in financial services, still a senior manager, where there is no way on this earth that a woman in that industry, in that business, would ever dare to do any sort of promotional video or any video that would go out to the public in something like what I'm wearing. You know, it's a really hot day here in the UK. I've been enjoying working from both the garden and the kitchen to cool down. But the perception is that we, in order to be professional, that we have to be a certain way, we have to look a certain way, we have to wear certain clothing in a certain way. And if I'm honest, this is one of the most liberating things that I found when making the transition from self-employed or self-employment to employee. Or I should say, sorry, employee to self-employment. So one of the dangerous things that a lot of these entrepreneurial businesses, one-man band businesses do is they spend a lot of time at the computer, maybe completing admin, maybe doing their marketing through various social media channels. Problem is, the comparisons that are being made are comparisons on the outside of someone else's life compared to what's really going on for the person watching. So let's say it's me, for example. I'll go on to LinkedIn or Facebook, see that somebody's just been promoted or doing really well for themselves. And there could be a part of me that kind of feels a bit broken inside and thinks, oh, well, I've had a tough week or a tough month or a tough year and they're doing so well. Why aren't I doing the same thing? When the truth of the matter is, it's a well-known fact on social media that a lot of people will only paint a certain part of the picture. And part of the reason that I even did this video series in the first place is that I wanted to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So if you are a business owner, whether you have a small business or whether it's just you in your business, it's okay and actually quite expected that there'll be good days and there'll be days that aren't so good. There'll be times when your cash flow is rolling in and there'll be times when your cash flow isn't. There'll be times when you have so many clients that you don't know what to do with them all, and there'll be times when you just don't have any clients or clients change their mind or drop out. There'll be times when you are killing it in your sales funnels and in what you're selling to your customers, and there'll be times when you get so desperate to sell that your behaviour might become a little bit unreasonable or quirky. These are all truths of business. And the other one that I want to bust, which is the reason why I swapped what should have been today's theme to talk about this and truth telling today, is that good old Facebook popped up a reminder this morning And it reminded me that on the 15th of September 2010, I was in the middle of a 24-day stay in hospital. I had early stage complications in a pregnancy, very early stage complications, and the only thing left for me to do was to remain in hospital. Now, in this professionalism, there was a certain amount of shame that went on for me, where I didn't feel that I could speak to the professional services company that I was consulting for at the time. I didn't feel like I could tell them the truth. So I told them a part truth. And the truth of the matter was that I was ill and I was in hospital. True. I didn't tell them I was pregnant. I didn't tell them any more detail to that. And I continued to work from my hospital bed. I didn't even relax and use my energy and focus on getting well because I wanted to remain professional. And the reason that the Facebook post sprung up this morning was that particular night in hospital, I'd had the worst night's sleep. So for anybody that's spent any time in hospital, you have patients being admitted throughout the night, people yelling out, shouting for nurses, generally not very well. There's a lot of noise going on. There were people being admitted. There was, I was feeling very, very ill. I was in quite a lot of pain. So I had to call the nurse and let the nurse know I was in pain. I couldn't sleep very well because every time I went to sleep, I felt ill, I woke up. And I decided to continue to feel this way and be this way, even though I'd only just started my business. Now, you might say, well, that's your personal life and it's got nothing to do with business. But, the other ugly truth that people don't really talk about is something fundamental happens in your personal life. Who taught us that it was okay to keep it separate from our business lives? Who taught us that if our kids are ill, that we should pretend they're not ill and just soldier on with it and give all our power and all of our focus and attention to the company we work for or work with? Who told us to do that? Who told us that if we were feeling ill that we should push through and shouldn't just take some time off, to have a break, to recuperate, to get better? And who told us that if we're working with clients that really, in terms of a relationship, are really not a good fit, that we should continue to strive on and do it anyway? Who told us that we should communicate in a certain way so that we don't lose the respect, admiration or professionalism that people, put so much attention to? So today's video is to talk about the truth. It's really, really important to be able to talk about those. And whether you talk about them with peers, whether you talk about them with your family, whether you talk about them with a coach or a mentor that really gets where you're at. And this is important because your family will always worry about you. They'll always want the best for you. And if anything looks hard or tough, they'll probably advise you to chuck in the towel and don't do it. Whereas somebody else that understands, maybe it might be a community of like-minded people, it might be your networking group, it could be your coach or mentor, it could be your colleagues, it could be a best friend that understands and encourages and supports you. All of those I've had over the years. And I just have to say that without you encouraging me, supporting me, watching these videos, subscribing, buying my products, taking my services, giving me feedback online and listening to me speak live and face-to-face offline, I honestly don't think I could have done it without you. So thank you. Until tomorrow's video, bye for now.